Hello everyone. These are the JW files, the beginning of the JW files series. I want to introduce myself and talk a little bit about my background in the organization, why I'm making videos, and hopefully I can, what the intention of the videos are. So, I grew up here in New York City, and I was in the Jehovah Witness organization for 34 years. My father was an elder. I had other family members that were elders as well. Mother, aunts, pioneers, and I had a strong, relationship with that organization for many years. I went through school as a Jehovah Witness, and I'm going to make a series of videos about that because when you are quote-unquote not baptized, or even if you are quote-unquote baptized and you go to school with Jehovah Witness, I think it's very difficult for most kids, especially if you are a young inner city kid. I think that adds I myself am an African American, and I think that adds a layer of, I wouldn't say discomfort, but a layer of complexity to your journey as a teenager. That's already an arduous journey, but you have this extra layer. Like many Jehovah Witnesses, baptized, and then later on disfellowship. But the thing about me that's a little bit different than other people is I got disfellowship, but I was also reinstated. And it wasn't until after I got reinstated that I really began to wake up. Once I got reinstated, to be honest with you, that's when a lot of things just didn't sit with me anymore. And it really, I really saw a lot of problems with the organization, and more than anything, with the literature. I knew something wasn't right. I've heard several individuals on the YouTube they've mentioned the statement, something is not right. Something is just not. They can't put their finger on it, but they can just feel it. Something's not right. Now, two individuals have really inspired me to go forward with my videos. One is Truth Warrior, and this other gentleman is by the name of Mark Latham and his beautiful wife. And I say that because Truth Warrior, if you look at Truth Warrior, he wasn't influenced to leave because he was disfellowshipped, and then he just left and he was upset. I really don't, I really don't have too much. I don't want to say I don't have respect for individuals who are disfellowshipped and leave and have hostility toward the organization. I just have more. I think I can understand. I can understand them having hostility, but as somebody who was reinstated, who came back into the process, I swallowed. I dealt with the punishment, and you deal with it, and and like Truth Warrior, there's something that I started looking at the material, and something wasn't right. Something wasn't connecting with me very well. But I'm gonna make a series of videos about that. I'm also gonna make a series of videos about getting through reinstatement. How do you navigate the reinstatement process? That's the whole purpose of these JW files. It's actually to help people, help myself in the process. Get through disfellowshipping. Anybody out there, everyone can talk to you about disfellowship and sit and talk about how the elders are wrong and stuff. Fine, let's not even go there. But that process, man, that process can kill you. There are people who commit suicide during that process when they're disfellowship. And it's such it's a shame that this organization has such control on these people. I also I want to talk to you about what I've come to understand as growing up as somebody who grew up as in an elder's family. You know, when you grow up in that elder's household, basically what I came to find out was that the elders' families were basically the only families who were, I couldn't say the only families, but were, from what I'm understanding, a large part is that everybody else who wasn't a part of, like, you know, who had a regular family, who wasn't a part of the elders' family in the congregations, they were just basically doing whatever they wanted to do. I won't say they were leading double lives, but the elders' family, their families are usually a little more stricter, get stricter rules. So I'll talk about that. I'm also going to talk about the sexual abuse. Years ago I had been abused. And it led to a lot of problems that I had as a teenager. And I'm very fortunate I was able to put that behind me, that horrible abuse. But it's something that's important. People have been hurt or continually being hurt, and they need help. There's a lot of people out there that need help. They want to talk to somebody. So I'm going to be reviewing a lot of that journey, that JW journey, in these series of videos called the JW Files. And again, this is not a video created to attack the Watchtower, society, like that. It's not about attacking them, but it's more so about connecting with the right people. There's somebody out there that is disfellowship right now who's lost. There's somebody out there who has been inactive, and there's somebody out there who's in their organization right now, and it's just like they're confused. They're confused because the information they have this great association or whatever, it's decent association. They're scared, but something is not in their heart. They see something, and it just doesn't feel right anymore. So basically, I'm going to be communicating with these individuals as well. So it's a series of videos. Also, it's important that I mention that I grew up here in New York City, and the reason that this is important, no disrespect to anyone else, but I've come to find out there's a saying that talks about the further you move away from Brooklyn, Bethel, you would see a difference or more leniency in rules, and there was a difference in the way the organization is practiced in different parts of the United States and in different countries, different rules and so forth. And here in New York City, growing up near Bethel and so forth, I'll talk about my encounters with like Bethelites, things that I had heard about Bethel and so forth, and they're out there listening. Jehovah Witnesses are listening, and I don't have hatred for them. But one thing that is important is helping other people, and hopefully through these series of videos we can kind of like give each other the closure that we need. And because it's important, you really need that. Once you leave that organization, whether you're disfellowshipped or whether you're working on reinstatement, you have to, I'm going to make videos about this, but you have to, as a human being, you have to replace that void. And you have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And so, again, so this is just an introduction video to this whole series. I'm going to be expanding on all of these topics, and hopefully I can help some others. You can write to me at thejwfiles@gmail.com. Once again, you can write to me at thejwfiles@gmail.com. I only use free web access, so if you're one of the Jehovah Witnesses trackers or FBI agents or something like that who's trying to track me and so forth, it's not going to happen. So just send me an email. Don't ask me to click any links or anything like that. All right, and feel free to reach out to me.